Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to put together this DIY. I try to keep it as cheap as possible because I would hope some of my ladies are about the cheap life as well. You're going to need something to measure with, whatever, that doesn't matter, just something to measure with. You're also going to need some fabric, 22 inches by 3.5 at the least of fabric. When you're picking out your fabric, you're going to want something that slays girls, so you're going to want like silk, velour, velvet, all those types of things. If you want to go vintage and you want that like 80s, 90s look, you're going to want a really ugly fabric. So something that's hideous printed that you would never wear, maybe a shirt you could use, just something real ugly, maybe some type of quilt fabric your grandma uses will make a beautiful vintage looking scrunchie. Okay, the next thing you're going to be needing is 1/4 inch of elastic. You're going to need a bobby pin. A safety pin is better, but you know, like I said, cheap life, and all I have is a bobby pin, but if you have a safety pin, that's going to work better. You're also going to need a thread that matches close enough. This is from Walmart, so again, cheap life. You're also going to need pins, and if you want to do the bunny ear scrunchie, you're going to want some wire. So now that you have your 22 by 3.5 inch piece cut out, also, side note, you don't have to do this many, I'm just doing a bunch at once to show you guys a little bit of a variety. Also, if you're using silk or something, it's probably best to pink the edges with pinking shears or a pinking rotary cutter. So now you're going to go ahead and take your elastic and cut out 9 inches of elastic for however many you're going to be doing. Now you're going to take your fabric and make sure it's pretty side up, and you're going to go ahead and fold it over onto the ugly side. So the pretty side is going to be on the inside of this fold. So just go ahead and place pins all the way down until you have a tube like this. So now that everything is pinned all the way down, I forgot to mention really quick, you guys, so on the ends right here, just go ahead and roll them back and pin them as well. You're now going to, starting at the top right here, back stitch and then sew a straight stitch all the way down the entire thing. Okay guys, so now that you sewed your straight stitch all the way across this thing, you're going to go ahead and take your bobby pin, snip a little corner, I don't know if you can see, in that piece. I know that seems a little crazy, but just go ahead and do that. And now what you're going to do is you're going to stick your bobby pin inside of the garment, and then right through that hole right there, so right through that little hole, and try and make this hole as close to the end of the scrunchie as you possibly can. And then you're just going to push it through and feed it through the entire scrunchie till this side comes out on the other end of the scrunchie. Okay guys, so I pulled the bobby pin all the way out. Now you're just going to shimmy this all the way through, taking your bobby pin out. And then you should have some sort of tube. It doesn't have to look good. You can do a lot of adjusting and everything should be fine, but you should just have this little seamless tube. Oh my god, y'all, I've tried to film this 100 times. If you got through to this point, God bless. So now just go ahead and take your 9-inch elastic that I told you to cut out in the beginning, and then cut a little hole in there, slip the bobby pin through like we did last time. Now place the bobby pin in the hole. I'm so disgusting, sometimes I'm 12. Okay, and then just shimmy it through, but when you're doing this, make sure you hold on to this end of the elastic the entire time because the elastic is smaller than the tube, and that's what's going to cause the scrunchie effect. So just feed it all the way through. You guys, look, I did it. Okay, so it's all scrunched and shit now. So just go ahead and take your bobby pin out. Alright, so now you should have this. And then figure out how small or how big you want your scrunchie to be. So if you want this like little hole to be smaller, then you're going to want to use less of your elastic, so just trim off a little bit. But if you also want it to be bigger, just do that. And then I don't know, I hope I'm making sense, you guys. I'm so sorry, this tutorial is going horrible. I've never made a scrunchie before, to be honest. Okay, so now just cross them like this and then sew a zigzag stitch right here and then cut off the excess, if that makes any sense at all. I just zigzag stitched that. Now hopefully your little ends got tucked in right here. Okay, so yeah, just do that, and then what you're gonna do now is put I hope this makes sense, I'm so sorry. Just put this tube inside of this tube like that. Oh my god, this tutorial is falling apart. It's going through my fingers right now. And then you can hand sew all the way around to shut it or you could just put it on your machine and sew a straight stitch down that little part. But you will, like, be in mind there will be a flat spot on your scrunchie. It doesn't really matter, no one's gonna notice. But if you want it to be fully puffy, I would hand sew it. Okay. You guys, I failed you. I only did the straight stitch through the whole thing. I did not hand sew it because I don't live my life that way. I'm not about to spend 30 minutes hand sewing all the way around this thing, getting confused because I don't really know how to hand sew that well. But yeah, so I just did that, and honestly, look, you can't really tell at all, and really, you could just scrunch all this scrunch over it, and you can't tell, and look how freaking cute it is. Alrighty, so now that you've finished your scrunchie, I'm going to show you how to do the bunny ears. So go ahead and cut out a matching piece of fabric 12 inches by 5 inches. Okay, so now that you guys have your 12 inch by 5 inch piece, I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but I'm just gonna do it this way because I don't really, this part is not that big of a deal if it's symmetric or not. So just go ahead, flip it around to the wrong side, take a marker of some sort, and then just draw sort of this, I don't really know how to explain this shape. It's like, what are those like sand things that tell time? I forget. Literally like do the shape of a bow tie. That's perfect. So now that you did that, go ahead and take your wire and then just go ahead and fold it in half and measure it to a length that will fit inside of your bunny ears nicely. After you do that, just go ahead and twist these two ends together to connect everything. And I wish I had those little plier things, but again, broke life, I don't. So just go ahead and secure that and then set it aside. Take your bow and then fold it over, so ugly side up like this. And we're gonna be doing the same tube thing we've been doing the entire time. So just leave a small opening up here and down here and just sew a straight stitch all the way along, not forgetting to back stitch. Okay guys, so I went ahead and sewed that together and then turned it inside out. Now just go ahead and take your wire and slip it through this piece. Okay, so I know it looks a little crazy, but we're gonna go ahead and sew each end shut and it will not look so crazy at the end. Okay, so now the wire's in there and you should have some sort of shape. I know this didn't turn out exactly as planned, but it looks great. And then go ahead and take your scrunchie on the part where you sewed with your machine, put the ears inside, and then go ahead and tie a knot. And then you are done with your bunny ear scrunchie.